Welcome back, y'all. So the water temp's heating up. It's hot as hell down here in Florida, and it's probably hot in a lot of the southern states. In this video, I'm gonna give you a couple baits that I've been throwing lately that I think will help you catch some more fish. So make sure you follow along and stay tuned. It's gonna be a good one. So the first bait I want to talk about real fast is deep diving crankbaits. These post-spawn bass are getting off their spawning areas and they're moving out deep. And right now it's a perfect time to be throwing deep diving crankbaits like this DT16 and this 5XD. Perfect time to be throwing these right now to catch some of the biggest bass on your lakes. Not only, a DT16, 5XD, not only are you gonna be throwing these, but you're gonna be throwing something like this, 6XD. This is what? DT20. Huge plugs, all right? These are gonna target the biggest bass on your lake. Those big post-spawn females that's moved out and are ready to feed up. They're weak, they're hungry, and summertime's coming quick. Hell, it's already here. It's hot as hell right now. But these are some plugs you should be throwing right now that can get down there and target these fish and where they're located. Like I said, this is a DT20. It's a big one. You gotta have a big rod. You know what I mean? You can't be throwing this on a 7 foot, 7'3". You're gonna want like a 7'6", 7'9", medium, heavy, moderate. This is a 6XD. You're gonna need as well a big rod to be throwing this. But again, these are gonna target the biggest bass on your lake. Hey, look, it's upside down. It's gonna target some of the biggest bass on your lake, and this is what you're gonna need to be throwing. Just like the 16 and the 5XD. Again, you could probably get away with throwing these on a 7'3", but I would still recommend like a 7'6". But these fish are now hungry, and it seems like, early in the months of June when these fish are just getting off, their beds and they're starting to pull out deep and they're getting grouped up in groups, this is a key bait to be throwing at them. For some reason, it's just a perfect time of year. Bass will destroy these crankbaits. So let's move on to the next bait I think you guys should be throwing right now. So this ain't no secret. If I can't get them to fire up on a crankbait, or I find them on a crankbait and they stop biting it, I'm gonna throw a big old monster, a big worm. Doesn't have to be a Zumo monster, but any big worm, 10 inch, 11 inch, 12 inch, whatever you got. This is what I'm gonna drag through there if I can't get them to commit to the crankbait, or they start eating the crankbait and then they stop biting it. I'm gonna go to the streamline worm. Something about the streamline presentation of a worm, for some reason they cannot resist it. So this is another bait you guys should be throwing right now. Actually, you're gonna throw this the rest of the summer, because once the crankbaits die down, this worm is gonna continue through the rest of the summer. Now there's one other bait I'm gonna pick up and throw. If they will not bite this, there's one other bait I'm gonna show you guys real fast that you need to be throwing. All right, so this is gonna be a bait I'm gonna recommend throwing. If they stop biting the crankbait, they stop biting the big worm, pick up a shaky head. This is a Z-Man's worm, so this is Elastec. So that shaky head, as you're dragging it across the bottom, this tail is gonna lift up, and it's gonna be a finesse presentation that they cannot resist, not to mention it's Elastec, so you're gonna be able to catch a lot of fish on this bait. Any shaky head's gonna work. It doesn't gotta be Elastec, it doesn't gotta be Z-Man, but again, a shaky head is going to allow you to pick up those fish that aren't committing to the crankbait, that aren't committing to the big worm. Pick up a shaky head, fire it in there, be patient, you'll get them to bite, trust me. And those are the 3 baits that I think you guys should be throwing right now. Like I said, you wanna be starting off with a crankbait. You find these fish, school it up, fire a crankbait in there. You wanna move on to a big worm, something streamlined. If they stop biting the crankbait, go to the big worm. Can't get them to bite on the big worm, or they stop biting the big worm, go to a shaky head, something finesse. You can even throw a Ned rig in there too as well. Those are the key baits you need to be throwing right now in the month of June. Guys, if you have any questions, drop it down in the comment section. If you like this video, make sure you smash that like button. And hey, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for the next one.